Good morning to my dear students. Today we are going to discuss chapter number 3, Structure of Matter. So without wasting time, let's start. Students, let us recall what we learned about structure of matter in grade 6. We learned that all matter is composed of very small particles. John Dalton, a scientist of the 19th century, named these smallest particles as atoms. Now we can define the atom. Atom is the smallest particle into which an element can be divided and still be the same substance. Students, do you know atoms are so small that they cannot be seen even by the most powerful microscope? Our next topic is classification of matter. We can classify matter into two categories. One is the pure substance and second is the mixture. Further, we can divide pure substance into element and compound and mixture into homogeneous and heterogeneous. First, we'll start with elements. A substance made up of only one kind of atoms that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical methods is known as element. Iron, gold, hydrogen, and oxygen are some examples of substances made up of only one kind of atoms. The smallest particle of an element is an atom. There are about 118 different elements known to us. Out of these, 92 elements occurred naturally on the earth, and the others have been made by the scientists in laboratories. The second are compounds. A substance formed by the chemical combination of two or more elements in fixed proportions is called a compound. For example, water is made up of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, which is a compound. The smallest particle of a compound is a molecule. Now, we will learn about properties of compounds. First, a compound can be broken down into its constituent elements by chemical methods only. For example, each water molecule is made up of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. Water can be broken down into the elements hydrogen and oxygen by passing electricity through water. Second, a compound always contains the same elements combined together chemically in a fixed ratio. इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा कि आपने वाटर कहाँ से लिया है, लेकिन उसमें हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन बाय वॉल्यूम हमेशा 2:1 रहेंगे. Third, the properties of a compound are different from those of its constituent elements. For example, वाटर की प्रॉपर्टीज उसके कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट एलिमेंट्स हाइड्रोजन एंड ऑक्सीजन से बहुत अलग है. वाटर जहाँ पे फायर को एक्सटिंग्विश करता है वहीं पर हाइड्रोजन बर्न करती है एंड ऑक्सीजन बर्निंग को सपोर्ट करती है. नेक्स्ट we'll learn about molecule. A group of atoms held together by bonds is known as a molecule. For example, water is made up of two different kinds of atoms, oxygen atom and hydrogen atom. Difference between atom and molecule. An atom is the smallest particle of an element that takes part in a chemical reaction, whereas a molecule is the smallest particle of an element or a compound that is capable of an independent existence. An atom is usually not stable by itself, whereas a molecule is usually stable by itself. Now we'll learn difference between compounds and elements. A compound contains atoms of different elements chemically combined together in a fixed ratio, whereas an element is a pure chemical substance made up of same type of atom. A compound is represented using a formula, whereas an element is represented using symbols. Next difference is the smallest particle of a compound is a molecule, whereas the smallest particle of an element is an atom. Next, the list of compound is endless, whereas there are about 118 elements that can be observed. Now, we'll learn about mixture. When two or more elements or compounds are mixed together but do not combine chemically is known as mixture. In a mixture, elements retain their original properties and can be separated by the physical means. Mixtures are of two types. First is a heterogeneous mixture. The word hetero stands for different. For example, when you mix sand and water, you can see the different phases of the mixture easily. So, it forms a heterogeneous mixture. Whereas the word homo in the homogeneous mixture stands for the same. For example, when you mix salt and water, you cannot see the different phases of the mixture. So, the solution of salt and water forms homogeneous mixture. This is a diagrammatical representation of heterogeneous and homogeneous mixtures. Now, we'll learn the differences between compounds and mixtures. A mixture can be made by mixing together two or more elements or compounds in any ratio, whereas a compound is always made up of elements combined in a fixed ratio that always remain the same. Mixtures can be separated easily, whereas compounds cannot be separated easily. Mixtures have the properties of the substance present in it, whereas compounds do not have the properties of the elements. In mixtures, no chemical reactions takes place, whereas a compound is always formed due to a chemical reaction. There is no heat taken in or given out when a mixture is made, whereas heat is either taken in or given out when a compound is made. Symbols. We know that there are only 118 elements and millions of compounds. Writing the full names of elements and compounds is very inconvenient. So, we use symbols to represent elements and formula to represent compounds. Early scientists used picture symbols to represent elements. Later, Dalton improved these symbols. But as the number of known elements and compounds increased, this method too became very inconvenient. The present system uses letters of the English alphabet to represent elements. It was first suggested by Berzelius. The system is as follows. Some elements are represented by using the first letter in capitals of the name of the element. For example, C for carbon. Names of some elements have two alphabets, in which the first alphabet is capital and second alphabet is small. For example, Ca for calcium. The symbols of some elements are derived from their Latin names. For example, the Latin name of potassium is kalium and its symbol is K. Chemical formulas. Chemical formulas are used to express the chemical composition of substances. For example, the formula of water should contain the symbols of hydrogen and oxygen, and we can write the formula as H2O. The steps involved in writing a chemical formula are as follows. First, write the symbols of the elements side by side. Write their valencies on top as superscripts of the symbols. Second, divide by any common factor in their valencies. Third, interchange the numbers obtained and write them at the base as subscripts to get the formula. Let us understand with the help of examples. In case of sodium chloride, write the symbols of sodium and chlorine. Then write their valencies on top as superscript of their symbols. The valency of sodium and chlorine is 1. Now divide by any common factor in their valencies. As 1 is common in both the symbols, so we can skip this point. Interchange the numbers obtained and write them at the base as subscripts, and we will get the formula of sodium chloride as NaCl. Similarly, in case of water, the elements are hydrogen and oxygen. We will be writing the symbols and then their valencies. After that, the valencies will be cross multiplied with the symbols, and then we will get the formula of water, that is H2O. Our next topic is atomicity. The number of atoms present in a molecule of an element is known as atomicity. Different types of atomicity. If an element contains one atom, it is known as monoatomic. For example, helium, neon, etc. If an element contains two atoms, it is known as diatomic. For example, nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, etc. If an element contains three atoms, it is known as triatomic, and if an element contains more than three atoms, it is known as polyatomic element. Valency. The combining capacity of an element is known as valency, and to make a chemical formula, it is important to know the valencies of the atoms present in the compounds. This is a table of first 20 elements with their symbol and valency. Chemical equations. A chemical equation shows the result of a chemical reaction in which the reactants and the products are represented by symbols or formulae. In a chemical equation, there are two things. One are the reactants, second are the products. The elements or compounds that take part in a chemical change are called the reactants, and the rearrangement of the elements form new compounds in the reaction, which are known as products. For example, in the given equation, C and O2 both are the reactants and CO2 is the product. How to write a chemical equation? First, identify the reactant and products and place them in a word equation. Second, convert the chemical names into chemical formulas and write the symbols. And last requirement for writing a chemical equation is that the number of atoms of each element on the left hand side should be same as the number of atoms on the right hand side. Now the chemical equation is of two types. First is the balanced chemical equation. Second is the unbalanced chemical equation. If the number of atoms are equal on both the sides, then it is known as balanced chemical equation, and if the number of atoms are not equal on both the sides, then it is known as unbalanced chemical equation. This is the sum up of the whole chapter. I hope all the concepts of this chapter are clear to all of you. Read the chapter thoroughly and mark the internal questions. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care and have a nice day.